In a quiet little town where the sun painted the rooftops gold every morning, there lived a small gray cat named Luna. She wasn't one of those proud, velvet-pawed queens who demanded worship. Luna had a torn ear, a limp from an old fight, and eyes the color of storm clouds just before rain. Most people hurried past her little alley, clutching their bags and their worries. Every day, Luna sat on the same cracked wall outside Mr. Rossi's bakery. She never begged. She simply watched. One cold November morning, a boy named Matteo came running down the street, tears freezing on his cheeks. He had lost his mother in the crowd, and the world suddenly felt too big. He collapsed beside Luna's wall, hugging his knees. Luna studied him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she climbed down, limped over, and pressed her warm little body against his leg. She purred, not the polite, distant purr of a pet, but the deep, rattling one that says, "I'm here. I see you." Matteo's hand found her torn ear. He didn't flinch. He just buried his fingers in her fur and cried until the storm inside him quieted. When his mother finally found him, she saw her son sitting calmly with a scruffy alley cat curled in his lap like she belonged there. Matteo looked up and whispered, "She waited with me." Word spread, the way kindness always does when it's real. The next day, old Mrs. Conti, who hadn't left her apartment in weeks, opened her door to find a single warm roll from the bakery on her mat. Tucked beneath it was a tiny gray paw print in flour. She laughed for the first time in months. A week later, the teenage twins who always kicked cans down the alley stopped when they saw Luna guiding a blind stray across the busy street, one careful step at a time. They put down their cans and carried the old dog the rest of the way. Soon, people began leaving little things for Luna. A scrap of salmon, a soft blanket, a ribbon tied in a bow. But Luna never kept them. By evening, the salmon would appear on Mrs. Conti's step. The blanket warmed the stray dogs behind the church. The ribbon decorated the hair of little Sophia, who was starting school and terrified of being alone. Luna never asked for anything. She just moved through the town like a quiet ripple, touching one life, then another, then another. Years later, when Matteo grew up and became a doctor, he kept a small gray stone cat on his desk. Patients always smiled when they saw it. "My first healer," he'd say softly. And on the cracked wall outside the bakery, where the paint had long since faded, someone had carved tiny words no one ever erased. She showed us that kindness doesn't need perfect fur or a perfect life. It only needs a heart willing to stay. Every morning, the people of the town still looked for Luna. Some swore they saw a flash of gray in the corner of their eye, felt a warm press against their leg on the hardest days. They never found her again. But they kept passing the warmth forward, one small act at a time, because a scruffy little cat with storm cloud eyes had taught them how.